Yo, what a way to end Friday Night Smackdown. This was amazing for John Cena to take CM Punk's most famous promo, the pipe bomb from 2011 on Monday Night Raw, flip it and make CM Punk look like the biggest hypocrite in the world is crazy. It was done masterfully. Honestly, for me, since John Cena turned heel, this to me is the most effective, most impactful, and the most entertaining promo he's cut so far. This was fantastic. So we'll talk about this promo real quick, and we'll also talk about how I felt about the rest of the show tonight. But before we get into all that, please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this. So I am aware that there are some people who watch my channel that haven't been wrestling fans for a long time. So they're probably asking themselves, why is this a big deal to you, Thoughts? Well, let me let you know this. The promo that CM Punk, the famous pipe bomb promo that he cut back then, and that whole situation that happened on Raw has a lot of parallels of what happened tonight, and obviously it was purposely done. So the first thing being, both tonight and at that night on Monday Night Raw, both situations spawned from a match between John Cena and R-Truth. Back then, John Cena and R-Truth had a table match in which CM Punk got involved in. John Cena had CM Punk on his shoulders, about to hit him with the attitude adjustment, but R-Truth speared John Cena through the table, winning the match. And then CM Punk cut the pipe bomb promo as John Cena was basically selling him going through the table, right? And then tonight, obviously, there wasn't an interference like that, but we saw not CM Punk, but John Cena have a match against Ron Killings. But Ron Killings also won this match, but this time around, it was because of disqualification. But instead of John Cena selling, going through the table back in 2011, this time around, CM Punk went through the table and he was selling it as John Cena was cutting a promo. Now, the one of the bigger things that I thought was crazy that John Cena copied from CM Punk that made this whole thing obvious, and he said, "Hey, look, I'm breaking the fourth wall." That's one of the main things that CM Punk said in their promo. When CM Punk said in the pipe bomb promo, calling John Cena a sellout, a kiss up, just like he called, The Rock and all these other people kissing up to Vince McMahon, John Cena basically told CM Punk, you are a capitalist. You like making money. You are a TKO guy. And he said that your morals change as much as my t-shirt does, and we all remember, and it hurts to say this because I am a CM Punk fan. He comes from my city, Chicago, but for CM Punk to go online and respond to The Miz in reference to Saudi Arabia and tell him, what did he say? He said, go suck a blood money covered penis, okay, Saudi Arabia, you effing dork, which means that a lot of people believe that CM Punk was against going to Saudi Arabia. He hasn't been. So for this time around, for him to go to Saudi Arabia just to have a match against John Cena, it makes him look like a hypocrite. It makes him look like a hypocrite. And the fact that John Cena called out Claudio, which was Cesaro when he was in WWE, called out Matt Cardona, called out all these other people, and cursing on the USA Network like they were on Netflix, this was crazy. This was crazy. I loved it, bro. I love when they do a reference to the past, just like they did with Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles referencing to John Cena and Mark Henry when Mark Henry had the fake retirement. I love when they do it. I love when it's done right, and because it feels like it rewards us wrestling fans who's been watching it for a long time, especially when it's done at the right time. I don't like when people try to pull on nostalgia and repeat things from the past when it doesn't make sense, when it doesn't fit. But this, just like the AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes situation, or even when AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes had the promo and it was referring to Batista when he cut the promo against Triple H, like, give me what I want. Like, as long as it's done the right way, I love it. And that's what happened tonight. Maybe I'm glazing it because it's hitting the nostalgic feeling from back in the day. I don't know. But honestly, even despite all that, this was still the best thing that John Cena has done on the mic so far since turning heel. This is great. This is getting me more excited about this match. This is getting me more excited about what they're going to do at the Go Home show. I believe they got a SummerSlam kickoff thing going on tomorrow, which is kind of early in my personal opinion, but it's going to be very interesting to see what John Cena and CM Punk says against each other. And man, this is going to start kicking up the John Cena retirement run. If they get more things like this is going to be great entertainment. This is all the fans have been asking for so far. So I can't wait to see what happens next. But let's move on to the rest of the show. So I just want to talk about the show in the totality. I don't want to break everything down. But to be honest with you, the rest of the show was fairly decent. But it did show us why SmackDown does need to turn to a 2-hour show. And it is. But this is you really felt it tonight, because if you really look at what happened tonight, a lot of the gaps that would normally be in a SmackDown were filled with people from Monday Night Raw. We saw the whole situation with LA Knight and Seth Rollins faction, whatever you want to call them. We saw a match between Asuka and Alexa Bliss, so another person from Monday Night Raw. Like, it was like the people from Raw was kind of filling in the slots from that other people couldn't hold from SmackDown. You had Sami Zayn there, you had Jey Uso there, even though they were there for a good reason, whether it be for the tournament or whatever. But it just felt like they were there. They actually saved the show, just like I felt like they did before Money in the Bank. It just really feel that way. Obviously, the rumors of LA Knight transitioning over to Monday Night Raw is more than likely the reason why he had the whole situation with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. But still, it just felt like Monday Night Raw was really saving the show. But I want to say some things that were pretty good about SmackDown tonight. And it was some things that were forwarding storylines, forwarding the relationship between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, which I think they'll eventually become tag team champions together. I think they're starting to get close to, Alexa Bliss helping out Charlotte and things like that. I think that's going to be very interesting to see how that turns out. Building on the hatred between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Jacob Fatu admitting to him, I know that you're using me. You're just using me to get power, to get, become tribal chief, to get gold, all these other things. And Jacob Fatu got to the point where he says, I'm not doing this no more. So now we're getting Jacob versus Solo Sikoa for the U.S. Championship, which most of us already knew was going to happen, but a lot of us assumed it was going to be a SummerSlam. So they didn't really give us a date, so I don't really know exactly. We got a match set up between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, which in my personal opinion, Tiffany Stratton hasn't really done anything interesting with that title. Have not. And this is one of the main reasons why I feel like SmackDown, when it was 3 hours, it was a wasted opportunity. I'll talk about that in another video. But they're going to get a last woman standing match, which is probably going to be the most interesting match in Tiffany Stratton's title run ever since beating, after beating Charlotte Flair post WrestleMania. This is probably be the most interesting match. I mean, Nia Jax, she is a force, right? So to see Tiffany Stratton survive in that type of match would be very, very interesting. And if Naomi will capitalize on the situation where both women will be worn out because of that match and cash in, that'll be great. But outside of that, we got, a lot of matches that ended in DQ. A lot of times where the babyface gets jumped and someone else comes to help out, just like Jacob when he got attacked by Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo, as I call him, and Big Jimmy came out to save. That's a lot of what we got tonight. A lot of rinse and repeat whole situation. But the match between Sami Zayn and Randy Orton, to me, was match of the night. I thought that match was fantastic. I'm looking for a heel turn from Sami Zayn to start brewing, because at this point, now that he's out of the King of the Ring tournament, the fact that he's been super desperate about winning that title and Randy Orton beat him already, he has no other way. Karrion Kross is going to get through to him. Because Sami Zayn, even though he's like best friends with everybody, at some point to make his character more interesting, he can't just be best friends with anybody anymore. He's got to be frustrated. He can always win the IC title. He's done that multiple times, but he can never get the big title. Never could get that. Right? And both of the people who's already had it, or Randy Orton had it multiple times, and you have Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso who just had titles. Now Sami Zayn, the only person who has not had it, is eliminated. Out of the 4 people who we just saw in there cutting the promo together, got eliminated. So he's got to be at this point where he's bubbling up to turn heel. It has to happen. And this will be a perfect opportunity to build a storyline for Karrion Kross to continue to get through to this guy and make him do things that he don't want to do. But that's a different video for a different time. But overall, I think SmackDown was a pretty decent show. The fact that we didn't get any tag matches tonight was very interesting, but it looks like what we have on the docket next week is a bunch of title matches. We got the Nia versus Tiffany match next week, Zelina Vega versus Julia next week, which I'm assuming Julia is going to take the title off of her. Tag team title between the Street Profits and the Wyatt Six, which I'm assuming the Wyatt Six may take the titles around that time. Who knows? But again, overall, SmackDown was just okay. It showed us why it needs to be 2 hours instead of 3. Raw can't keep coming and saving the show. They just really can't. Not saying that there's no talented people on SmackDown, because there really are, but just the way that they're utilizing them and they utilize those 3 hours, it just didn't work for me. But overall, if I had to grade it, I'll give it a probably a B-. But what do you guys would grade it? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Salute, peace, have a great day.